Anthropomorphism is a weird thing. Like, it shouldn't be possible for inanimate objects to have a discernible personality, yet people can look at a car and say, that car is sassy, or that tree is wise. And I know the technical definition includes animals on the list, but if you're a pet owner or have even met an animal, you know they each have their own personalities and attitudes separate from their base instincts. What's stranger is how non-living things can give off vibes that seemingly don't make sense. That mountain is evil and foreboding. How? It's a crease line of two tectonic plates. What about that pile of rocks could possibly be evil? But that's the thing. Most of these human characteristics that we put on non-human things all have to do with how they interact with us. Specifically, how they can harm us. The mountain is evil because a lot of people have either died or gone missing on it. The tree is wise because it's been around longer and survived more than most people. The car cops an attitude because it has a tendency to break down and stall in traffic exactly when you don't want it to. It's part of human nature to look at the world around us and turn it into something familiar, like the human form. We personify the non-personable to help us understand the world and how it works. I do this all the time. While I don't have the condition that makes me see a face on everything, I do project attitudes on non-sentient beings as a coping mechanism / survival tactic. This is all a long way of saying mushrooms are assholes. Like, genuinely. There is something deviant about these corpse-eating, largest living organism champions of Batesian mimicry that I am totally not envious of at all. So to cope with my botanical envy, I designed a little character based off of the most terrifying fungus. The second most terrifying fungus I've ever heard of. The Destroying Angel mushroom. Part of the Amanita family. For those of you who aren't neurodivergent, the Destroying Angel is a small, white mushroom that usually grows in Europe, but there are several species of Destroying Angel all over North America. However, America also has the Deathcap mushroom, which is a different mushroom. They're just completely identical in almost every way. They both even disguise themselves as the harmless puffball mushroom. Or maybe the puffball disguises itself as a young deathcap? While researching the video, I also found there's a false deathcap that is perfectly edible, and one of the only ways to tell them apart is the smell of raw potatoes. And that begs the question, why? Why are there so many poisonous mushrooms? I mean, I get that they feed on rot and decaying flesh, but why are they poisonous when there are other mushrooms that grow the exact same way that aren't dangerous? And why do they all look alike? It's almost as if they've made it perfectly clear they don't want to be eaten. Selfish bastards. So why would I make that a character, you ask? Well, I first designed this little girlie around 2 years ago when I got inspired by Lavender Town's video, If the World's Deadliest Poisons Were People. Of the designs in that video, her foxglove design was the cutest to me. I also really liked the idea of an innocent-looking sweetie that would offer shelter and food to someone who was lost in the woods, but then silently watch as their victims slowly die from consuming their poison. So I used it. I've drawn Angel on the channel before. She was my Halloween special last year, so before anyone brings it up, yes, I know Lavender Town has already designed her version of the Destroying Angel as of 2 months ago, at the time of scripting this. And yes, our respective designs do have similar notes, but why wouldn't they? They're based on the same mushroom. Anyway, when first designing Angel, I couldn't decide if I wanted to go with a looks like a cinnamon roll but can kill you vibes, or if I wanted to go with biblically accurate Angel. So I went with both. I imagine her first appearing in her cute form, offering lost folks soup and other tasty treats while misleading them deeper into the woods. Once the doomed traveler is on their way, she first follows them at a distance. But as the hours pass and the person gets sicker, she gets closer, becoming more agitated and monstrous until the wayward traveler is consumed by the destroying angel. Kinda like a cryptid meets fairy tale vibe. And that's what it all boils down to. Vibes. Why we personify things is all based on instincts we use for surviving in a world where almost anything can kill us. While we lived relatively safer lives than our ancestors, the instinct of inferring remains. And now we can use it for fun things, like drawing mushrooms as people. And that's gonna do it for this week's video. Sorry for the shorter video this week, guys. I wanted to have at least one video for every week of October, but don't worry. Next week's video is the big one. I haven't started editing it yet, but I do have the script, and oh my god, it is 4 pages long. It's gonna be a doozy. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you then. Thank you and good night.